Hi everyone, I'm Flora Posteraro.
And I'm Carrie Perry.
And my chick over here, she's on the Lyme War Path.
Yep, this is Chick to Chick.
All right, you're on a war path, but I gotta say, it's for good reason. I would be on the war path too. I cannot believe what you're dealing with. Not one daughter with Lyme, but now you find out your other daughter has Lyme too. What's going on?
Okay, so this is really fresh. I mean, this just happened a few days ago for us. And as much as it is a massive kick in the gut, you know, and I'm sitting back here, the queen of prevention, going, okay, how'd this happen to my child?
Right.
How in the world did this happen to my child? But you know what? You and I talk about things happen where God gives us something that we have got to work with, work through. And because of what we do and we talk, I am now that steward of information. That's just the only way.
You're the mouthpiece for this.
It's the only way I'm going to get through this. Now, so our youngest child is just finishing up 6th grade, and she's been a great student, and she's done really well, you know, her whole first part of the school year. And, you know, moms, you pick up on stuff with your kids, right? So I'm picking up on stuff going on with her, and it was little by little subtle. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some of these symptoms, and you tell me if you would have had Lyme on the radar. Okay. Headaches off and on. Then knee pains, no swelling, but knee pains off and on. Then forgetfulness, anxiety, weird OCD things like acute sounds to something going on at the other end of the classroom, like somebody's tapping a pencil or chewing on some gum, making sure things are just so. Hyper-focused sometimes, zero focused other times. So this was cumulative since right after the first of the year, basically, or, you know, early winter. And I just got to a point that I was like, something's up. And she also had a couple days of a fever and just a headache, maybe a little bit of a cold. She never had a cold that was really taking her out of school, you know? And then another time she had a fever for just a full day and a headache. And listen, what I went through with Sam, I know that there are so many symptoms. But Flora, what I just mentioned to you, would you have had Lyme on your radar?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know, but I guess because of being around you and knowing what your daughter went through, it does sound like Lyme to me. Yeah. Everything that you've described, it does sound like Lyme.
Someone on the other end is thinking, oh, growing pains. Oh, headaches. It's probably allergies. It was bad allergies this year.
Well, and the other thing is, because you said something there, you are the queen of prevention. Yeah. Every issue that has to do with Lyme disease or ticks, you get the call.
I do.
So how in the world can your daughter, after one daughter went through it, you got that under control, you're the queen of prevention. I don't necessarily know that I would have thought Shay had Lyme, because you're always like, did you do your repellent? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did that? And for you to tell me that, that's insane. That's insane.
So Shay loves the barn. She loves her horse, Paris, that she goes out to. And we in Pennsylvania had a really mild winter when it came to like Christmas time and to New Year's. Super mild, right? Yep. She was out at the barn. She had 2 layers of clothing on. So she had, like, you know, the Under Armour layer, and then her breeches, her high socks, boots, jacket, sweatshirt. I'm thinking, even me, I don't really need to dip her in permethrin like I do every other time of the year. And she doesn't necessarily...
Coder.
I know. She doesn't necessarily need all the TikTok. I'm thinking we're going to be good. She always took a shower. Of course, once again, no tick bite, no bullseye, the things that a lot of physicians want to know, right? So here's the thing that really, really makes me upset. I know what I know because of what I went through with Sam, right? But I still went into our primary care physician because I'm not going to be one of those people, the quote Lyme loonies, that thinks every little nuance is Lyme, right? Do my due diligence, go into the physician with the headaches, a little bit of the knee pain. You know, I kind of just, at that point, I sort of skirted around some of the other issues. I really was worried about these headaches several times a week. So, you know, there was no other recommendation than just take either Tylenol or, you know, ibuprofen when needed. In fact, there was a note that went home so that we could give it to the nurse, right?
Yep.
Let's come back and check this in a month. Well, nothing really changed. And in that month span of time, she had a 3-day fever where she was home. Actually, it was right before Easter, so she didn't have to miss school. And then she had another 1-day fever that I was discussing. So I take her back, and at this point I'm also recognizing some deficits in her grades. One class in particular, she had an inability to have retention in math. She just could not remember.
The brain fog.
Right.
Yep.
So, of course, Sam could articulate that. A 12-year-old is not really articulating it that way. She's frustrated. So once again, we go back in for that secondary appointment. That was a month later. And it was, well, it could be hormonal. Oh, maybe it's, like prepubescent migraine kind of thing. Could be stress in school, whatever. It was basically anything but, and I purposely did not bring up Lyme disease. I purposely did not bring up blood work because the onus is on the physician, in my opinion, and I want to be the average parent that walks in. They're not thinking that. They need the physician to come to them with that, the PA, whomever it is, right?
Right.
I left that office knowing what I know and knowing who I know and offices that we already work with, an office we already work with. So I immediately got her into a functional medicine doctor, and that is how we found out that she has CDC positive Lyme. And if you remember Samantha, she had all those terrible symptoms for months and months, and she wasn't even CDC positive. This child of mine, with all these subtle symptoms, was CDC positive. So had the primary care physician, after the second time we leave the office,
and they missed it.
Yeah, if they just said, let's do some blood work, it would have shown up. So I'm mad.
I don't blame you.
I mean,
you're on the warpath right now, but like I said, it's justified. The thing that gets me is that, and we've talked about this over and over again, Pennsylvania has the highest number of Lyme cases in the country.
Right.
More than 12,000 cases, and these are confirmed cases.
Yes.
How many cases that are not confirmed?
Oh, it's quadrupled.
Tenfold.
Exactly.
Tenfold.
Exactly.
And why isn't this becoming a common thing? When you go to the doctor and you mention all of the symptoms that you just went through, why aren't they saying, okay, we're going to test for Lyme?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why isn't that on their radar?
I should not have to worry like I do now about our physicians not taking care of people. Look, it could have happened to another kid because I'm gonna solve this problem. I've got great docs. I feel like we're going to be okay. But I'm mad because what's going to happen when all these other children are mislabeled, they're misdiagnosed.
And misdiagnosed over and over again because their parents don't have the information that you have. They don't know to say, hey, you need to test for Lyme.
Right.
I just don't understand why that isn't on the checklist. Now, when you go through all these symptoms, a doctor should normally say, okay, let's do some blood work. So you talked about prevention.
Yeah.
And you are the queen of prevention. And there are products out there that I think that people need to know about. We've got a table full of products over there.
Yeah.
What's up with these socks over here?
Okay, so these socks are really important. First of all, this is a campaign that we have. It's called Sock It to Lyme. It's geared towards schools. So if your school district is interested in one grade level of children receiving these socks, we have a wonderful program. We do not fund it. We need outside businesses and other organizations who will fund it. But in our area, we had 2 school districts that were able to give all of their 5th graders these socks. Now we have a local Subaru dealership, Faulkner Subaru, who was able to foot the bill for these. So we thank them so very much. These parents should thank them so very much. But here's the important part about these socks is that they have what's called permethrin. That's what they have in them. It's a derivative of a chrysanthemum plant. And when you have a child or anybody wearing a permethrin sock or even permethrin on shoes, you're cutting down a bite tremendously because ticks originate from the ground. They don't jump or fly. So they're going to go from the ground and crawl up. If you have permethrin on, it renders that tick completely paralyzed, kills them. But also mosquitoes, keeps them away, mites, jiggers. So it's a great benefit to anyone. So these socks are wonderful. So
is that what's also in the insect repellent, permethrin?
Well, yeah. So this is Sawyer brand. It's the brand I use. There are a lot of different companies out there you could go with. But you can use this as a spray, and you basically following the directions. You're going to spray your clothing, the front, the back, let them fully dry. When they're fully dry, you can wear them right away. You don't have to run them through the washer. But as opposed to the socks that are done by a company called Insect Shield, which is like 66 washes before you need to reapply, this one it's like 6 washes and you want to to reapply.
What about that bandana over there? What's that for?
So this is just a reminder that if you have pets, or even if you're out, cruising around, if you have a bandana on, you're also helping to keep it away from the neck and the hairline from bites. And you can put this on an animal insect shield, again, which has the permethrin already built in.
Why do you have the lint roller over there? What's that for?
This is really good. Okay, so and I used this on our youngest pup, Hazel, the other day. If you run the roller over even your skin or over a fabric, it's going to pick up those nymph ticks, the poppy seed sized ones that you cannot see. Do it before you get in your car. Do it before you get into your house. Pick them up while they're already crawling so you're not bringing them in transport inside.
That's a great tip.
Cheap, yeah.
Yeah, and your tweezers over there.
Yeah. So the tweezers, I like the Tickies tweezer because it has both the dog or pet side and also the human side. The important part about Tickies tweezers is you need to use the right tweezer, and you need to go at the skin and head of the tick with a pointed tweezer. Pull straight up. Don't twist. Don't put any oils on. Don't burn it. Just get it right at the head, right at the skin, pull straight up.
Okay, and once you get the tick, this is really, really important. There is actually a tick research lab here in Pennsylvania, and they will test that tick for free.
Yeah, they'll test the tick for free. And why this is important is because, we make antibodies to the antigen, or we make antibodies to the Lyme, but it takes weeks and sometimes months. Sam didn't really make the antibodies, so it didn't show up. What that lab does is it's going to tell you how sick your tick is. And so, for instance, your tick might not just carry Lyme, but co-infections like Babesia, Bartonella, Anaplasmosis, Ehrlichia, the list goes on.
And it's free.
And it is free. So what you want to do is throw that tick into a baggie, no matter what state it is in, okay? Throw it in a baggie. You want to log on to ticklab.org, follow the instructions, and in days, I mean like 2-3 days, you're going to find out. And that's armed information for going to your physician if the tick is sick.
And I think it gives you peace of mind too, because people will go, I was bitten by a tick, but you don't really know whether the tick is carrying a disease.
You have no idea.
And this is going to give you peace of mind, and it's free. It's a free service to all Pennsylvania residents, and you get the results very, very quickly.
Yeah.
You're on a rampage.
Again.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah.
But you had awesome information, and this is great information that we really need to have some prevention out there. And I think people need to understand too that ticks, they can survive even in cold weather. Even in cold weather, they can survive.
I just pointed out that it was probably in the it was probably like maybe high 30s, low 40s when I suspect Shay would have been bitten. But they're out all year long. You just now. I mean, I truly know you can't let your guard down.
Nope.
You just can't do it.
And it's a big problem here.
I want to leave this with one other thing before we get off on this. But when you bring your child into a physician and you have a bunch of symptoms that you are unsure of, and if your physician, for the second time, you walk out that door and you don't get blood work for your child or even yourself, you need to go somewhere else. You need to go somewhere else. You need to get the blood work done, preferably at a lab that's going to also test your blood and not just antibodies to Lyme. It's really important. People can be sick for years. Our children are at the highest risk. 40% of Lyme patients are children. We can't have that go on.
Be proactive and advocate for your kids.
Whew, I'm done.
Okay. If you have any questions or any comments, or you need any information, you can get that from Carrie. Just send us an email. We are chick2chick@PennWatch.org. We're also all over social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please like us and follow us. We are Chick2Chick USA.
Yeah, and of course you can listen to us on all the podcast channels. So we've got Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Play. The point is you can't miss us. You can log in anywhere.
We are everywhere. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back next time to chirp about another topic.